What's up, everybody? I am Travesty,
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
and thank you for tuning in to another episode of this freaking show. It is the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. Same weekly podcast that is brought to you by CarterComics.com. It's your one-stop shop for all your comic needs, whether it be graded or raw. Carter Comics has got them all. All you gotta do is go to CarterComics.com, check out their store, fill your cart up with all their amazing comics. Use discount code FREAKNET, FREAKNET. You'll save 10% on your entire order. Not just at their website, but also on their eBay account, and the link to that can be found on the homepage of CarterComics.com. If you take advantage of their multi-purchase discount that's currently going on, if you buy more than one product, that's right, two or more, you'll save an additional 10% on your order, plus free shipping. So head on over to CarterComics.com, buy more than two products, and you can use our discount code. You'll save 20% overall plus free shipping.
Nice.
Yeah.
More you buy,
Well,
more you save.
yeah.
Do it.
Well, we got through everything I got scheduled for today. That was it. That was the thing right there. I didn't notice.
Nice. Hey,
And yeah,
I was saying, did winter return to you down there?
it's bullshit, isn't it?
We got snow on the ground and everything. It's nuts.
It was
It's supposed to be
62 days
70
ago.
degrees next week.
It was 62 days ago. That's what I'm not understanding. This is what I don't understand about the Midwest. And I get it that, after spending my entire life in it, I should understand by now that this is just the way it is. But I have dated women who have made, commitments more than what our weather is doing. It is it's so dumb. And I know it's supposed to be, I think, into like 35 today or something like that. So who knows what melts away and what doesn't. But yeah, I'm ready for it to just be regular weather. Give me the chilly springs, just leave snow away.
Right. After 4 days, and I'm a proponent of snow in February. I think that is normal, natural, and fine.
Mm-hmm.
But after 5 days in a row of like above 50-degree weather,
yeah,
I thought we were done with it. I was ready to move on.
Yeah. Just let it go, winter. You had
I
your
am happy
moment.
though. I don't know what it's like down by you. We only got a couple of inches and none of it really stuck on the sidewalks. So I don't have to shovel. And that's way more important to me than
it's the same.
whether or not there's snow.
Yeah, it's the same up here. I mean, I can still see the grass and everything, so it's not horrible, but it's still just the cold weather. Because what sucks the most is, and I feel for me it's the same for everyone else, that when you go through these warm, cold, warm, cold, warm, cold, the possibility of getting sick is going to happen a lot more.
Yeah, I always used to get sick at the changing of the seasons.
Yeah.
And I've definitely had like I've been stuffy or, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. I feel like I've had a little bit of a sore throat, but not like a sore throat. You know what I mean? Like it's not a virus or anything like that. It's just like it's dry and then it's not dry and then it feels weird. And, as soon as I have a couple glasses of water, I'm fine. But it's like you wake up and you're like, am I sick? No, it's just the weather.
Mm-hmm.
This is bullshit.
It sucks so much. I'm just ready for it to be regular spring. I don't know what the groundhog saw or didn't see. I still don't quite understand how that process works, or how that even began to, I don't know who in this world decided that a groundhog is going to determine how our seasons are and shit, but
You'd think that'd be something I would know because it's such a specific weird thing, but I have no idea either.
Right. Well, you think it would after 8 years. There's a good chance that even within the 8 years, we've probably talked about it and looked it up and had a whole conversation about it, because we probably sat here and had this exact conversation back in like 2016 or some shit.
We've had the same conversation every week for like 8 years.
There's strong possibility.
It's literally Groundhog's Day.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I'm ready for better weather. I do want to start doing some more things outside, and I want to start doing more things in the garage and all that stuff. And I do got a heater that I could kind of turn on in the garage and use and stuff, but I don't want to burn the propane just for doing that, But
right. Well, especially not just for like one day of cold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 70s next week, great, but it'll probably snow again. I mean, nothing happened in December. I don't know why they have to wait till January and February, but it just seems like over the course of I'm trying to think here. 14, 15 years, give or take, that I can kind of think back to. It seems like our seasons are shifting in the years. And I don't know if that's supposed to be like a well-known thing. Like, of course that's gonna happen or whatever. But like, I remember like having the pool open at like the end of April, you know, having pool parties for my birthday at the end of May, and now it's just like, you hope that the pool gets open by June to at least enjoy it for the 4th of July and stuff. And then you see like, now there's no more snow in November and December. Now it's showing up in January and February. So it's like everything kind of shifted. And I don't follow a lot of, what the hell, what was the study of weather?
Climate science, meteorology.
There we go. Yeah, I guess I'm thinking meteorology. I don't know enough about it for it to be like, oh, of course this is how it is. Maybe I'm the stupid one who just assumes like, why is this happening? But it's probably something that everybody knows or whatever. And I don't know.
And I think we're definitely in a from what I understand, and I don't understand as much as I'd like, but we're in weird times for the weather. It used to be very predictable, and it's not as predictable as it used to be. And just the extremes tends to be worse, which is why we're cycling from, it's 22 degrees out right now here, and then it's going to be 70 like what, Tuesday, Wednesday. I haven't actually looked that far ahead, but
yeah, it's 22 by you.
Technically 24, but yeah,
it's 35 by me.
Nice. See, that would be very comfortable.
Yeah, you might be maybe. And again, this is another thing I don't know if it's true or not. It's just things you hear through life. But maybe the lake is affecting the weather up by you, making it colder.
It could be.
Yeah, that's a thing, right? Like the wind
I'm
blowing
usually
into the
too
lake
far
or
away
something.
to get like lake effect snow, but I don't see why it couldn't be affecting the temperature.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got to be because we get affected by hurricanes for some reason. I mean, it's
right.
Somebody's like, "Oh, hurricane hit down in Florida, so it's going to rain here in 3 weeks." Like, what the fuck? Like,
travel.
Yeah, no hurricanes though here, so I guess take to go with the bad.
Right. Yeah.
I really wouldn't. I was looking online. I was trying to think of some topics we could talk about. One did pop up that we could talk about. Is kind of like local government related and everything. But there was something else I was going to bring up, and somehow it already escaped me. I don't know. Maybe I was just awake for way too long already. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah. I was like, Joe, I need to remember what I was going to say because I thought it was going to be a good conversation.
I don't know. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's on you, man. That's on me. That's on me. This is probably the point of the show where people are like, okay, I'm out. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Monsters, I tell you though. Just gotta wait. There's always a lull and everything. I mean, everyone sat through that Madam whatever movie apparently that's going to shit really quick.
Madam Web. I think almost nobody has sat through it. I think that's the problem.
Yeah. I want to go see it just because I want to see what the problem is. And
I've heard it's so bad.
I've heard the writing's horrible, the acting's horrible. I'm assuming it's Disney, so I'm assuming the production's not bad. But
I'm pretty sure it's just Sony. I don't think Disney's involved at all.
is it okay? That makes more sense on why it's garbage then. Okay. I thought it was Disney, but yeah, it could be. It could be just straight up Sony. That sounds more accurate now that I think about it. But I don't know. We could talk about local government for a minute. Like I said, like I was trying to look up this morning on what to talk about, and that's something. And I'm sure something happened in my life that we could discuss. Apparently, people love hearing about my misfortunes and shit. So why the hell not? Let's see if I can find out. What are you looking up?
I'm just looking up the
The
Sony
Madam.
Pictures, Deep Bonaventura Pictures, TSG Entertainment, and Marvel Entertainment. So they're involved a little bit, but just the Marvel wing.
Gotcha. Where is that article? There we go. Okay. This has nothing to do with either one of us. I don't even know if this affects us as a state. But for those of you who live in Dalton, Illinois, apparently your mayor is being accused of corruption. And trustees are voting on an FBI investigation.
They're voting on having one, or?
Yeah. So the title of this is Illinois mayor accused of corruption, which is why I clicked on it in the first place. I thought it was Chicago. Because I couldn't think of what else, like what other Illinois mayor would be relevant other than either Chicago or maybe Springfield, like a big town. But this is Dalton, which is not a very big town. You know, it's definitely kind of on the like low income poverty level kind of town and everything. I don't know what the population of Dalton is though. I don't think it's that big. Trustees in Dalton will vote on a resolution to call for a federal investigation into Mayor Tiffany Henyard. I think I just wheezed. Weird. Who is accused of corruption. A special trustee meeting is scheduled to take place not at Dalton Village Hall, which some may believe they are being locked out of, but the Park District, according to WLS. It has been nearly 3 years since Henwood is sworn in as the first mayor of Dalton. She now also serves as Thornton Township Supervisor. Her image is prominently displayed outside of Village Hall, but she is now a center of allegations of corruption and political retaliation being lobbed at her by trustees, business owners, and even the Attorney General's office. There's a lot of mismanagement of funds, and we just want some clarity so we can move forward and understand what's going on with all the spending, said Dalton trustee Kiana Belcher. Running a business in Dalton has also been getting harder. Multiple businesses have been shut down recently over unresolved licensing issues, including a business called Lawrence Gardner's Trucking Company. It has been sitting idle since January of 2023, so a little over a year, when the village accused him, the owner, of selling liquor without a license during a party that was being hosted there. He denies the allegations with a judge ruling in his favor and has other ideas about why the actions have been taken.
Is this the guy we know?
Do we know a guy?
Doesn't that like the barn, or is that a different?
This is different.
Other people just have a similar thing where they happen to run a trucking company and have a an unofficial bar.
Completely different truck company who has some kind of alcohol sale issues.
Gotcha. If I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Illinois, folks. The owner states, because I wouldn't donate money to her anymore, I won't give her any more money because I wouldn't donate money to her anymore. Gardner said he is, okay, so I guess the guy's name is Gardner, which makes sense for the Lawrence Gardner. So I'm assuming this is Lawrence Gardner. Gardner says he is among several business owners who shortly after Henwood took office complied with her request for a $3,500 donation to the village. While the FBI will not confirm they are investigating the mayor, Gardner said he's been talking to them for months. I've been talking to them periodically, and they said there are multiple agencies investigating Dalton and Mayor Henwood to be patient. There's also Mayor Henward's namesake charity, Tiffin Henward Cares. On Wednesday, the Illinois Attorney General sent a cease and desist letter over to the foundation's failure to report how it spends funds and who is benefiting, or who has benefited. I don't know, that same thing, I guess. How the fuck do I read different words that are right in front of me?
I don't know.
This is why I never became an English teacher. The spokesperson for the village and Mayor Henworth said they are not aware of any investigation against her and released a statement saying, in part, Mayor Tiffany Henyard and the village of Dalton have not received any subpoenas and have not been contacted by the FBI or any other law enforcement agency. This evening, special trustee is scheduled for 5:30 p.m. While there are 6 village trustees in Dalton, only 4 are expected to attend. The mayor has been invited, but is not expected to attend either.
Wild.
Yeah.
What a weird story.
It's weird. It's weird because, like, again, you don't hear a lot about like small, like, especially like newsworthy internet, stories and stuff like that about towns with corrupt mayors and stuff. Like it's one thing if it's like, again, a Chicago, San Diego, New York, their mayors, big cities, Miami, Austin, whatever. It's just like bigger cities and stuff. But like Dalton doesn't, when you go to Illinois, Dalton isn't like one of the top, cities that pop into your mind. You think of Chicago, Springfield, Naperville, Rockford, Kankakee, maybe, stuff like that. But you don't think of Dalton. If that's the case, that sucks that they're going through that. Because, like I said, I mean, like it's not a big city. It's not highly populated area, with flourishing businesses and stuff like that. It's just kind of like one of those smaller. I don't know. I don't know what the median income housing value is in 2024 or whatever, but it's not. It's
right.
It's not, I don't think it's even one of those towns that are on the rise. It's just a town that's just there, So it's like the fact that I don't understand the article saying like the first mayor. So this is like they've only had mayors for like the last 3 years. I don't know what the hell they did before that. But I mean, it sucks that this is happening, and if it's true, that really does suck.
Right. Yeah, it's weird, and I do want to clarify. This is Dalton, Illinois, as opposed to Dalton, Illinois. Because I've heard of a Dalton, D-A-L-T. This is D-O-L-T.
It's pronounced Dalton.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm for the listeners, I'm stressing the O instead of the A.
I thought you were questioning how I'm fucking pronounced.
No, not at all. Just trying to clarify for listeners. Yeah, I'm on their Wikipedia page, which is wild. They have one. They are like immediately south of the city of Chicago, like very easy to annex or whatever if we wanted to.
You're telling me that there's a town called Dalton, D-A-L-T-O-N?
I'm pretty sure there is. Is there not?
Not in Illinois.
Oh, I thought there was. I could have sworn I've looked at houses there.
I googled D-A-L-T-O-N.
Way down south. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Dalton City is what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait, why would you move to Dalton City?
I just get on the Redfin app and I put in like I want this much acreage and I want to pay this amount, and then I just look at whatever comes up.
Yeah, Dalton City. Yeah, no, we're not talking about that. This is up by like Blue Island.
Right. Yeah, this is right at the toe of Chicago.
Yeah, there's another city that's right over there that I used to go to with a buddy of mine. His grandma lived over there, and like we go over there and mow her yard and stuff. I can't remember what the hell it's called. What the hell is that? Yeah, that's about it. Actually, I'm trying to remember now. Like, it's either Dalton or it's the town next to Dalton that I'm thinking of. Actually, do you remember years ago there was that Lane Bryant shooting in Tinley Park?
No.
So years ago, I can't remember how long ago. It's probably a decade by now, maybe. Somebody went into a Lane Bryant and shot it up. I think it was a robbery. It wasn't like a mass shooting thing. It was a robbery gone wrong, and a bunch of people got shot and killed, unfortunately, while there. And I believe that suspect hasn't been caught yet, but was seen like within that time period in Dalton at another robbery. Yeah. So, but like other than that, like you never really hear about Dalton.
Yeah, I didn't even know. But yeah, they have about 20,000 people, 21,000 people, depending
Is there
on.
that many?
Yeah,
Okay,
apparently.
so
This
it
is
is
wild.
big.
It seems huge
Okay, so
compared
it
to.
is big, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like, I think, doesn't Piatone have more than that?
No. No, I don't know if Peartown has half of that.
Oh my God, seriously? Yeah, it's only 4,000, like a
No,
quarter
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, see, I was gonna say 6, and even I overshot it.
Yeah, well, this is as of 2021, so maybe there's more.
It could be. I guess it's weird, like thinking about it, because like when you look at like town, anything north of Peatone. So when you look at Moni, so that cutoff between Moni, Crete, University Park, so that line moving north towards the city, it's hard for me to understand populations in those areas because every town is connected to each other.
Right.
So it's
It's
like,
hard to understand for me that like they're different towns or
yeah,
villages or.
yeah. So it's like, I mean, like everything's separated by a block or a street. Instead of down by me, onward, it's cornfields and shit. It's you definitively know where kind of Peatone is. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, if you want to look in depth of it, you have to find the borderlines of all the cornfields. And okay, well, this is Peatone, but this is Beecher, and this is where Moni starts, and this is Wilmington and Solid and Grant Park, and so on and so forth, and Mantino and all that crap. But yeah, like when you so when I think of Dalton, I don't think of a place that's even big enough to put 20,000 people in.
Yeah.
Um,
That's wild. My whole life I've had this conception of like the size of places, and I've been totally wrong. I thought so. Like Lafayette, I'm just looking it up. Indiana, where I grew up most of the time, has a population of 70,000, about 71,000. If you include
yes,
West Lafayette, it's like 110,000.
that seems
I
high.
always I always thought like 150.
Really, see, in my mind, I think Lafayette has like maybe 40,000
Yeah.
because I don't think of Lafayette.
Indianapolis has 800,000, but
See,
I
even then,
thought I was
like,
going to say 100,000, but it's actually almost a million.
yeah, but see, even then, like when I think of Indianapolis, I don't think of Lafayette having an eighth of what Lafayette has. I think of it having like much less. Where's Notre Dame at?
South Bend.
South Bend. What but there's a college in Lafayette, right? Purdue?
Yeah, Purdue, West Lafayette.
Okay. Okay. So maybe that's why it could be a little bit more populated.
Yeah, well, West Lafayette's 44,000, and so if you put them together, it's about 110.
Okay. Okay. But see, and that's the thing too, is like, so I think of Lafayette, I guess kind of similar to the same concept I think of when I think of Peatone. A huge area, small population.
Yeah.
But because when I think of Lafayette, I think of it being a pretty big ass place. And you're saying it has what, 70,000 people in it?
Mm-hmm.
Look at Hammond, Indiana. Look at that area and look how many people live in there. I'm pretty sure that's pretty high.
It brought up the wrong thing. I spelled it wrong. Hammond, Indiana.
Hammond, I think.
Yeah, I typed too fast and I left the D off the end, and so it brought up Hammond, Oklahoma, which only has 470 people. Hammond, Indiana has almost 77,000.
Yeah, and that is surrounded by like Whiting, Indiana, and what the hell else is over there? East Chicago.
Yeah, Gary.
Gary. So it's like Hammond. I could, again, this is just my opinion because I don't know, because I mean you might be able to see it on your map. I don't see Hammond being the same size as Lafayette,
Right, me either.
but the population's the same.
Yeah,
Nutty.
very.
Um,
So, well, I just found out like Niles, where I live, only has 30,000. I'd have thought, to me, driving around here, it feels like driving in Lafayette. I'd have thought, about Lafayette size.
yeah, yeah, and I know we talked about it, but what's Chicago at? 3 million?
Yeah.
Is that right?
As of 2021, 2.7 million.
2.7.
Yeah, so three is fine. Round
Yeah,
up.
that's nuts to think about.
Yeah.
Because what's the area size of Chicago compared to like Indianapolis? Because it can't be that far off from each other.
Let's see. Come on.
See, this is the part where the video looks cooler to watch than the silence in the audio.
I know, right?
But this is how we get facts.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have like 2 million more people.
Yeah, and
yeah,
and I'm assuming that they're living in the area because skyscrapers and buildings, where people are. I remember somebody telling me, I can't remember who the hell it was, and I never thought about it until we talked about this just now. But like they said, like the difference between like Chicago and major cities and everywhere else is like when you go to Chicago, they're building up where everyone else is building out.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, you could fit more people in an area when you're stacking people on top of each other. But like I said, like there's no way that Indianapolis is any smaller than Chicago. At least not by a third of the size.
Right.
And I know we drove through Indianapolis when we did cemetery vlogs and everything. I didn't really pay much attention. I don't think we ever went through the actual like downtown part of Indianapolis, but I don't think they have like the skyscrapers and shit that Chicago does.
Right. They're not like Chicago. They have maybe 2 or 3 skyscrapers, and they're not. They might be the size of like an average one, but they're not really housing. They're not residential skyscrapers. Yeah. They're businesses.
Like businesses, yeah.
I'm not sure what the units of measurement are, but this says land area 361.6 for Indianapolis and 227.4 for Chicago. I don't know if that's like square mileage or acreage or what, but
I'm going to take it as Indianapolis is bigger.
Yeah, in Indianapolis, I would say it's about a third bigger and has a third the number of people of Chicago.
Yeah. And that's what's insane about it. Like, and I get that, Chicago's where, again, when we looked at Illinois as a whole, I think it was roughly 3 million people are in Chicago, and that's nearly half of our population of the entire state.
Right.
I think it was like more. I think it was like 55 or 60% of our entire state's population is in the city limits or Chicago, whatever, and the surrounding suburbs. But it's like, I understand that you can't move outwards because you want to, live where you work. And a lot of businesses in Chicago and a lot of people use public transportation to get to work, and to live out by Gardner or Coal City or, Summit, or all these these places that are like 45, 50, 60 minutes away from the city. It's just illogical because traffic gets worse in the morning the closer you get to the city.
Right.
But God, could you just imagine if you just spread people out just a little bit? Like it's insane because you're looking at all of that land in Illinois that doesn't have people living in it because half of the population of this entire state is living within an area smaller than Lafayette or Indianapolis.
Right.
It baffles me. It's like like I'm not a claustrophobic guy, but it makes me feel kind of claustrophobic just thinking about it. Like I remember a guy I worked with at Trans Chicago when I was working up in Elmhurst. He had a get together at his place, so we went over there, and he lived not that far off from Midway Airport, so not even the city, but the suburbs. And the houses are like 6 feet away from each other.
Oh yeah, they're super close together.
Yeah, it's just like
we're not even, we're in townhomes, so we're not even far from each other. We're literally the same building.
Right? You can knock on your wall and say hi to your neighbor. But dude, it's insane because like when I could go outside and it's 12, 15 feet in between houses and shit. And the fact like, when I went up there, it's like your driveways were wide enough for one car to drive on. They were long, obviously, so you could put multiple vehicles in there. But yeah, when you look at, like you could there are houses where you could barely get a lawnmower in between the two places.
Yep.
It's so tuna can like. It's insane to even think about, especially growing up the way I grew up in an open area.
Yeah, I have to walk around the entire building to move my lawnmower from the front to the back.
Jeez, man. You got to mow your own yard?
Oh yeah.
There's
no HOA where we're at.
Oh, well, I guess that's a plus. I
wouldn't live in an HOA. Well, yeah. I would if I was in an apartment building, fine. But yeah, this way,
I could do an HOA as long as it was the type of HOA that didn't give a shit how I painted my own front door.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. When people get to dictate how the house that I'm paying for is going to look, that's when, I'm just like, I can't do that shit. And before I bought this house, I was looking at a place in Moni that had an HOA, and my whole thing was like, cool, they have people mowing the grass, they have people, shoveling the snow, whatever, and keeping it up perfect. But then I started realizing, like, there's just going to be a time where I'm going to want to, do something to the exterior of the house or put something in, and you have to, approve everything with the HOA. If you want to put a pool in, well, a buddy of mine lives up north. I don't remember where, but I guess it doesn't matter where he lives, but he lives in an HOA, and he wanted to put a pool in, but he's only allowed to put an in-ground pool in. They're not allowed to have above-ground pools. And it's ridiculous. It's not like you're renting this place. Like, you purchased this house and you own this house, and yet other people are telling you what you can and cannot have.
Right.
Like there's those stand-up pools or whatever that you can buy at like Walmart for like $110 or whatever. Can't have that.
It's ridiculous.
Even in your backyard.
It's not even permanent.
No. Even when you have a privacy fence in your own backyard, nobody can see it. Can't have
it. Why do they care?
I don't, dude, I wish I knew.
I don't. Yeah. This thing of like property values or whatever, like
my only guess is whoever runs the HOA got picked on a lot in school, and this is their time to get a little payback. Like, it's my time to shine. That's how I feel my last boss was. He felt like, I was the cool kid that, everyone liked more than him. I'll show him. Ha ha ha.
If that's the guy I'm thinking of, then I can't imagine why no one likes you.
Right, exactly. Let's stay on topic of Chicago. Look up for me on your computer White Sox new stadium plans, because Mr. Reindorf, the owner of not only the Chicago White Sox, but also the Chicago Bears, is seeking $1 billion in funding from, I believe, the state to build a brand new stadium in Chicago for the Chicago White Sox. Keep in mind, the stadium that they're in right now is 34 years old. I believe it opened up in 1990. Yeah. But they want to build a brand new stadium, and I don't remember the actual intersection, but I know it's a little bit more into the city. It's right off the Chicago River.
Yeah, they want them right in the South Loop.
Yeah. So he went to Springfield. He didn't talk to Pritzker. Everyone assumed he was going down there to talk to the governor. The governor wasn't available, so he talked to other legislators or whatever.
Yeah.
And I believe it's. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it was I think it was like a $2 billion build. He was thinking like $1 billion from the state for it. I think $600 million of it was to be paid by the folks of Illinois. I don't know if all these numbers are 100% accurate. I'm just trying to remember what I read because I don't have the article in front of me. I can't remember which article it was. But he blames the fact that the reason the White Sox can't have a winning team, the reason the White Sox can't sign big name players like everyone else gets to, is because they are in a situation where their stadium doesn't allow ticket sales to be higher than they are because there's nothing in the area that would draw people to it. I think that's bullshit. I think it's an excuse. It's even looking at where it's at now. and I can't remember the name of the lot. It's a unique name. But everything else there is in walking distance, which is no different than where they're at now.
Right.
It's and he threatened the whole well, if we don't build us a new stadium, we're gonna have to move. And I know he was down and they did I think they did the winter meetings in Nashville or some shit this year. So when he was in Nashville, he talked to the Nashville mayor, and there were rumors that he was moving the Sox to Nashville, and it's a goofy fucking thing. I think it's just a way for him to get a newer stadium in hopes to put maybe more seating in it, in hopes that people are going to be drawn to it, in hopes to make more fucking money. He's still not going to spend on getting talent in and everything because he's a greedy fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to increase ticket sales, and people don't want to buy Sox tickets now to watch the team they have now because they don't have a good team. They built a team pretty much let's wait for our prospects to get set up. In the meantime, we got to put a team on the field.
Yeah.
They're never going to be Wrigley. I mean, Wrigley, they haven't moved their stadium since it was built 120 years ago, maybe, or some shit.
Yeah, that sounds right, but I don't know for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the original, and it hasn't moved. There's no parking unless you're parking in somebody's driveways or parking lot of restaurant. Somehow Wrigley makes it work. And yet the White Sox can't. It's like you guys are worried about nothing being in the area. It's like, well, then get business into the area.
Mm-hmm.
Find people who are, willing to open a bar or a restaurant in that area. And I get that a lot of people are concerned because I don't know, there's no available buildings. I know it's a lot of houses and it's surrounded by suburbs, so maybe that could be a factor. I think the closest thing to it, maybe a Starbucks, is on the other side of the highway or whatever it is.
Is it really?
I think that's what I'm trying to remember. Correct. I believe that if you look at an overall map, the closest thing to there would be a Starbucks that's on the other side of the highway, so you'd have to walk over to it or something. But I know you go a couple blocks away, there's I think there's a hot dog stand, and I may have stopped that before. There's there's the scene of the St. Valentine's Day massacre not that far away from there because we used to park there.
Oh yeah, we took a picture by it, didn't we?
Yeah, when me and Derek went. Yeah, it's a unique concept on the fact that in order for the White Sox to be a better team, it's going to cost the people of Illinois $600 million. Yeah, I love
think
baseball.
That's nuts. I always, if you're a multi-billion-dollar business,
yep,
and you're claiming to be a nonprofit, and you're still making that kind of money, taxpayers should not be paying for your unless you're going to give us something back for that. If Illinoisans get in for free or 50% discount on tickets or whatever, or food sales,
set up a GoFundMe and tell me what I get when I put my money into it.
Right.
What are the tiers right now?
Yeah.
Donate X amount, season tickets, donate X amount, box seat, shit like that. Dude, yeah, it's insane. And the thing is, they'll never do it. They have a bullshit team right now. They have young guys who aren't quite ready to be all-stars. They got older guys who are just that they're honestly signing in hopes that they have a breakout career or a rebound season that they can trade away in the middle of the year for more prospects. They don't have a team that's going to, maybe they may win, I'm guessing, 40-something games this year. And that's a strong maybe. Is it likely? No. But I'm going to be optimistic, say 40 to 45 games. Out of 162, that's what I think they're going to win. Because all they're looking for is they're signing these veteran guys so between now and July could work with the prospects, get them ready, and hoping that they, could make a 270, 280 batting average, showing that they're getting on base and all that stuff so they could trade them away to get to playoff contenders that the Sox are not in hopes of getting one or two prospects back. It's it sucks because that's what it's going to be like for at least a few years. And what's stupid now is because I don't understand the process, how long everything takes. I really don't. But they signed a lease and they're stuck at the stadium they're currently at until 2029. Like
Oh, okay.
they're there for the next 5 years, anyways.
Yeah.
It's like if you just work on getting a team together that can contend, people will buy tickets and then people will go.
Right.
It's stupid how, as a Sox fan, love going to Sox games, love watching the games. I'm more excited about going to a minor league game in Crestwood? Crestwood, the Windy City Thunderbolts. I'm more excited
Oh,
to go.
nice.
Yeah, I'm more excited to go to that instead of a Sox game because it's not overpriced. And it's not that far away. Tickets are like $9.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You
yeah,
can get, I want to say you can get season tickets to the Chicago Dogs out in, I want to say Rosemont
mhm.
for like $50.
Yeah, yeah. It's not that. Yeah, it's not expensive to go see these minor league teams. You know what? It's baseball at the end of the day. I can watch the Sox on TV, and I can go watch baseball at in Crestwood if I ever want to and shit. I can go during the week and pay $9 for a ticket, or I can go on the weekends and pay $12 for a ticket. It's
Yep.
25 minutes away from me. I can literally get home from work, let Coops out, jump in the car, hit there, watch the game, come home, go to bed without a problem, and just enjoy baseball. And
Yep.
it's I wish the Sox could be better. I know they won't be this year. It'll be fun to see if they can make it because you get all these players who are just like this year's gonna be different than last year. I'm healthier. I'm ready to go, and then they just get fucking injured again.
Yep.
But I don't believe a new stadium's going to make them better. I don't. I mean, I've seen the images of what they want it to look like, and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the whole $2 million thing. The Down in Florida, which I don't know what the cost of living or value of money is from here to there, but they're looking at building a brand new stadium with 1,000-room hotel attached to it for like 1.5 billion. So it's like what the hell, like what are they looking for $2 billion to build here? It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
How much is he just going to pocket, either by only hiring friends or family or?
Yeah, because he'll probably use it to help out the Chicago Bulls because it seems like he cares more about that than he does the White Sox.
Right.
It's nutty.
Yeah. I hate it.
Oh, yeah. You don't really go to baseball games, do you, Joe?
No, not really. I love them. I love going to baseball games. It's just far enough out of my way that I don't really do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and
GCR
it's
usually goes to opening days, doesn't he?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. How's he doing on the alcohol free thing?
Still doing it as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he checks in every 10 days. So that's the most recent one I think was 50. Maybe it was 60. I don't know.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah.
Joe, hey, I didn't ask you, but what are you freaking drinking?
I was gonna
Or what?
ask you too. I'm still drinking coffee from the Electric Brew Company, but I'm finally out of the Christmas blend and I'm drinking the Ethiopian blend. It's delicious. It's really good. It's just regular coffee, but it's very tasty.
Oh, so there's not like a flavor to it.
Nope, just coffee flavor. Yeah.
Excellent.
What about you?
Just water.
Nice.
Yeah, this weekend's gonna be rough. So yeah. Uh, Other than what you're drinking, what are you freaking thinking about?
What am I freaking thinking about? Honestly, I have a ton of work to do this weekend, and so I'm thinking about all the work I got to do. I wrote 2 sermons last night because I got a funeral today and then church tomorrow, and I got to come up with what I'm teaching for the adult Sunday school class for tomorrow, and it's just a busy time all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wish it could be more fun, but that's what I'm freaking thinking about. What about you? What are you freaking thinking about?
I had a revelation the other day, and
Yep.
it made me decide that I'm going to go back on the keto diet. The other day I was thinking about uh, all the times I ever talked about dieting and relating it to relationships, and I always had this mindset that the reason that the keto diet works for me was because of the relationship I was in, the girlfriend I had that helped push me through and motivate me to do better and all this stuff. And I think for the longest time, like there was always a subconscious part of my mind saying that until I had a girlfriend, that diet, only then will diets work for me.
Hmm.
Until I was laying there one day, and I think it was Thursday. I was sitting there thinking about the dieting, the weight loss, all that stuff, and like what I need to do to kind of get back in check. I did that 72-hour fast and love that, and I look forward to doing it again here in a couple weeks. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, I dropped weight in that fast. I haven't weighed myself since. I know what I've eaten, and I wouldn't be surprised if I just gained all the weight back. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
looking at looking at some of the articles that I read about the fast after I got done with the fast, clearly there were some things that I did after the fast that were wrong. I didn't. It says you're supposed to slowly ingrain food back into your system. Start with like warm water, get a protein shake. Like stuff like that. Small things like leafy greens, blah blah, and slowly incorporate back in. I didn't.
Sure.
I had a taco bowl and it was delicious. Um, so I haven't weighed myself again because in my mind it's like you did this for 3 days, you crushed it, but you probably fucking failed again. And there's a good chance I didn't. There's a good chance that maybe I gained a few pounds back, but I didn't gain it all back. I don't know because
Right.
I'm not weighing myself until Monday morning. But when I was thinking about like I gotta get back on dieting. I gotta start eating better. I gotta start going to the gym. My back is, I want to say, probably 90%. There are still some like stiffness and weird twinges that come and go and everything, but I think I'm better enough to start, being more active again. And when I started thinking again about the dieting, and it's like, man, it'd be nice to, end up with somebody that, can help motivate me through the diet. It kind of like, I started thinking about the weight that I did lose during keto and the weight I lost in 2018. And I started thinking about like I lost this much in January, this much in February, April, March and May, blah blah blah. And it dawned on me that between January and February, I dropped 40 pounds just in those 2 months.
Nice.
And between March, April, and May, I lost somewhere around like 25, 30 pounds. And I didn't start dating my ex until the end of February. So when I started thinking about it, I was like, I actually lost more weight on my own
Mm-hmm.
than I did with somebody in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
And and to think about it, like, obviously, like, like this thing, this thought brings you to this thought, brings you to this thought. I was like, it's like, there's a possibility that like my relationship had nothing to do with my weight loss. When you're as big as I am, you're going to drop weight really fucking quick.
Right.
It's not that hard to drop the weight when you're actually doing shit. So losing 20 pounds and 20 pounds a month for 2 straight months isn't illogical. It's totally doable. But there's always a trickle effect to like, okay, after that, it's gonna get a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder. So
Right.
March was maybe 10, 12 pounds. April may have been like 10, 12 pounds. I think May was like 8 pounds or so, whatever the hell it came out to. It came out to like a total of 70 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah. But then I realized I was like, I guess I don't need to be in a relationship to be on a diet. I just need to regain that idea that I can do this, I'm capable of doing this, and I don't need, as much as the motivation's great to have, I don't need it in order to get through it.
Right.
So So starting Monday, I'm going to go back on the keto diet. I hate the fact that I decided to do this right now because I have so many carb-filled, delicious foods that I've bought over the course of the last week or so shopping that I intended to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought, well, I'll just start the diet after this.
Yeah.
But to me, that's just another excuse to not start it right away. So I'm giving all my carb filled stuff to Ashley so she could have it with, so she and her kids could have it and stuff. And I'm going to start doing the yoga. I'm going to go back on that. There's a few things I want to try. A buddy of mine, Matt, he wrestles at SCW. He's called Apex. Um, he has a nutrition store up in Plainfield called Apex Nutrition. I stopped in there after work yesterday, talked to him a little bit, like, listen, this is what my plan is. This is what I want to do. What am I gonna need? And he showed me a couple things. So I'm gonna pick that stuff up on Monday after work, and I'm going to start doing a few different things. There's something called 30-30-30. I think I talked about it on here. It's like when you, like, within 30 minutes of waking up, you want to get 30 grams of protein into your body.
Oh yeah.
You want to do about 30 minutes of leisure workouts, whatever, just walking around, whatever the hell it is. You don't want to you don't want to increase heart rate workout. You just want to do something.
Right.
So I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna wake up, have the protein shake. I'm gonna do the yoga, which, obviously the intensity yoga does increase your heart rate, but still I want to do that. But then there's also this one thing I saw on TikTok, and I gotta see if I can find it again. But it says, like, you also want to look at doing, 2 45-minute sessions of workouts a day. So I probably maybe not starting out, because I want to start creating small goals, not overall goals. Because I think that's what been my biggest problem too, is everything's an overall goal.
Right.
So I'm probably gonna wake up in the morning. I'm probably gonna do, the protein, do the yoga, go to work, do my shit, come home, do whatever I have to do here, and then I got a couple of like 30-day workout, progression things that I've been meaning to do and never done. I'll probably start doing those and start working on me, and probably, finally get, kick myself in the ass and realize that, like, I don't need love to be healthy.
Right.
So yeah, so starting Monday, I'm going to start back on the keto diet. I'm going to try to recreate what I did in 2018 and hope for the best. Obviously, that was 6 years ago. So as you age, your metabolism does fluctuate a little bit. So maybe I won't see the drop I did, but I think as long as I can progress forward and I see some kind of progression or results and everything, I will take that as a win, regardless of how much it is and everything. And yeah, so I've been thinking about that for the last few days, and I think it's just, I'm glad I finally realized that it wasn't my ex who got me to where I was in May. I mean, she's the one that fucking destroyed it. So
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's me that needs to make it happen, and I need to do it for me, and I want to do it for, everyone else, because I'm not a big fan of the idea of my family burying me before I turn 40. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Every week our listeners can catch Cartoon Joe over here on this freaking show. But if an hour Cartoon Joe just isn't enough for our listeners, where can they go?
If you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Awesome. Guys, make sure you follow us over on YouTube at FreakNet Studios. That's where our video podcasts are being released, as well as the other videos that we are putting out there for your enjoyment. Listen to our podcast over on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, wherever you listen to podcasts, just search for us. I'm sure we're there. Just make sure you subscribe, rate, and review us if it asks. And of course, we're on social media at Facebook, Instagram, and X, just by searching this freaking show. That's all I got, guys. As always, I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of this freaking show. I'm out.